its own twisted way, it actually may be seen as a little bit heartwarming that at least some demon in this troop still calls Meliodas someone he cares for. Although I have a feeling like maybe it's just denial for everything what Meliodas did. Still, though, we cannot look down on the thing that what made Meliodas really change side. We all know it was love, but I want to say is, was that just genuine love, or was it thanks to Elizabeth's purification and then love? Who knows? Yes, this is in Nanatsu no Taizai chapter 236, and I am the angry myth and the despair viewer. The translation is early this time. Well, turns out that the older man who is master, well, not master, who is Meliodas' master, strongly regrets the fact that Meliodas is not on the demon's side, but uh, but as soon as and it's also that his breath is literally acid. So, but as soon as he hears that the demon king wants to rescue Meliodas, he immediately cries tears of joy and says he is going to rescue his young master Meliodas. In a sense, that is heartwarming that he is still defending Meliodas even after everything he did, but in a way it's also creepy. Then again, so is the same thing about the other napping or whatever of the long. I know I saw their name last time, but I've already forgotten them. Then again, it's clear that these two masters, they cherish their students more than anyone else. But they have pretty diverse moves on the set, on that set. So the old man decides to head towards Meliodas, creating a crater while he flies away, having a feeling like, well, this is not gonna end well, if you know what I mean. So then the other master asks Seldoris why the Demon King wants this, but Seldoris do not know. He doesn't exactly know why his father wants to do that, nor can he think what his father will think like. Then suddenly we hear a familiar voice. That voice belongs to Estarosa, who, while is naked but is apparently in a pool of something, and has regained consciousness as his body is beginning to heal. Turns out the fight against Escanor really drained him of everything, and now he's finally regained consciousness but not complete power. His words, however, is actually a bit more laid back than the others. He's saying something like, you guys are pretty cruel, leaving out your older brother like this. What kind of scheme are you plotting? Even he is also the only one who talks about his father in a very casual manner. He's saying that you're saying Meliodas is alive? After all the trouble I went to save him from his sufferings. The old man's up to something pretty cruel tricks too. Do not know what exactly what that means, but maybe it's worth noting that he does not call his father, he just says old man in a casual style. Even the long bearded master is actually pretty wary of Estarosa, and I never gotten along with him. He knows for a fact that Estarosa's strength is not inferior to Selderis. In fact, in power level, I think Selderis only have 1000 more, or was it 100 more in his power level. But it's more for the fact that just like Meliodas, Estarosa's mind cannot be read, nor can it be known what he's thinking. And that's true. He always has that very melancholy and sadistic face on him, and you can still not know exactly what he is thinking. I mean, he did say that Meliodas was his biggest inspiration, so we should not ignore the fact that maybe, yes, maybe, he has picked up some things from Meliodas. No, not the good side, I mean. Just that he has his own agenda. It's also worth noting that Celeris is the youngest son of the demon, so why was he the demon king's representative and not Estarossa? I mean, Estarosa's dream is to become the best, so what is that meant to mean? For me, it almost looks like Estarossa do not have any, what is that word, dreams? Nah, that was not the word I was looking for. Desires, maybe. He seems to take everything in a very calm and laid back fashion, and as long as he can fight a strong opponent, then he is satisfied. In fact, it's even that's also something he picked up from the Ten Commandment Meliodas. So just maybe the reason why wait was the bearded demon named Cusack doesn't trust Estarossa is because he carries too many themes of Meliodas. Either way, on the place, King has created a necklace towards Diana, which the old split Hamlet of his former best friend sings, and he remembers his best friend saying that make Diana happy, so he will give it to Diana. And Gother has received his magic heart as a pendant, but he still doesn't exactly know what is so useful about that. Apparently, he does remember Nadia, and he knows it cannot to bring back her. So he doesn't exactly. So part of him doesn't know what it's so useful, and yet every time he looks at it, he doesn't feel any pointlessness. He only feels like it's a warm feeling inside of him. Basically, King gave him that as a pendant in order to, say, she may have left you, but she's always with you. That is the feeling you are feeling, Gother. But their loving mood is immediately crushed as the day sky suddenly turns into night, and that's just how power Chandler, I think the old man's demon was, as he appears and manages to walk past Merlin just like that. He sees his beloved student and cries tears of joy, but once he sees that Elizabeth is with um, him, he immediately switches his face to a nightmare face, proclaims, "You are the one who kidnapped and brainwashed the young master. I will kill you." So yeah, that is basically this chapter. The despair has not happened yet, but I guess the biggest despair is the fact that Chandler himself is trying to take Meliodas. Given the fact that his power was powerful enough to turn the entire day into night, it's safe to assume that none of the sins have the power level to fight him, least of all Merlin. And yet, his nickname, apparently he's the pacifier demon, because next chapter is called the pacifier demon. What does that even mean? Is that meant to include the pacifist or a pacifier? I mean, Meliodas was cruel back then. He was no near a pacifist back as he is now. And yet I still wonder, did he learn some pacifistic style from his master? Elizabeth and Meliodas is in the perfect cube, and so far nothing can break it. I think the only way to throw us into complete despair if it turns out that Chandler has a way to destroy it. Because if you ask me, I think he has. It's just logic that we're gonna throw this bear. So what awaits us? No idea. You give me your thoughts, do you have any?